Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're going to be looking at how to record an a cappella arrangement inside FL Studio. Let's go. The song we're going to be arranging and recording today is a cover of Ashewo by Nasboy. Let's have a quick listen to the final result to see what we're working with.
Ashewo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 13 miss call. Them don't dribble player.
So the first thing I did was to pull in the actual song into the FL Studio session. I pulled in the open verse version of the song. I wanted to do an open verse, and then I thought, why not do an a cappella version of the open verse? So I pulled in the open verse version, determined the key and the BPM. So the BPM is 120, and yeah, I cannot play the actual audio from the original song for obvious reasons. So after listening to it and then studying it, studying the bass, studying the groove and everything, I started to flesh out an arrangement, something I felt I could, start to work with and build upon. So the first thing I started with was the drums, which sound like this. And then the bass. And then I added these shakers. Next thing was an ambient clap. So with this, I already had a foundation with which I could work. And then the next thing was I went and built out the chord progression, which sounds like this. So these were what I needed and what I used to build out the entire song structure, and then built everything around this simple groove. Having all this, I started recording, and the first thing I recorded was the kick. So I recorded this kick, and the way I do my recording, the way I arrange is after I record kicks, I would then go and look for a particular kick that sounds really good that I can work with, and then just isolate that one and then use it and layer it over the other kicks. This folder is where I have recorded all my drums and bass. As you can see, I've labeled it here. So everything here is the drums. So these are the kicks, the rim shots, the snares, 3 shakers, and then the bass. So after recording the kick, I looked for a particular one. I think this was the one I chopped out, and I used it and replaced every other kick here. The reason I do that is so that I can have a consistent kick. Because it's BeatBox, there is no way that all my kicks are going to be sounding the same way, the same punch, the same depth, all of that. I didn't want the kick to vary. I wanted a steady, consistent kick. So I isolated one kick, which is this very one, and then I used it to replace every other. It's like drum replacement, when you are doing your live mixing, which is exactly what I've done here. So now my a cappella kick, or the beatbox kick, sounds like this. Let me go ahead and mute these guys. I won't be needing them anymore. So to record in FL Studio, what you do is, or the way I do it, is I go select a random channel, right click on it, and then go to track mode, go to audio track, and then look for an empty track. Let's say, for example, I want to use 75. I click on 75, and then it brings up all of these. So with this, I can arm the track, arm it for recording, and with this, I can select which input I want to use to record. I'm using a Focusrite Solo, so definitely it's going to be input 1. That's how I recorded all of the audio tracks that you are going to be hearing from here on. So here's what our beatbox kick essentially sounds like after recording. The next thing is the rim shots, and this is what it sounds like. The next is the snare. As you can see, I've layered the snare, obviously. I recorded 2 instances of the snare and then layered it just for extra width. The next thing I recorded were the shakers, and I layered about 3 shakers, to give me variation, to give me width, and to give me some sense of depth. So here's what the first shaker sounds like. Here's what the second shaker sounds like. Here's what the third shaker sounds like. So this is just the foundation for the groove. The drums are already in place, from what we have here, as you can hear. The next thing is the bass, and it sounds like this. Sounding really nice already. We're getting somewhere, right? So after that, in this folder, this is where I've recorded the chorus vocals. Okay, first let's look at the lead vocal for the chorus, and here's what it sounds like.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls. Them don't dribble player. Oh.
Sounding really nice. So the next thing we have is the background vocals, and for these I've also stacked them. I have them in layers of 3. For each variation, I've recorded them 3 times so that I can have width and depth to them. So the first layer sounds like this.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls.
Nice. And then the second layer, which sounds like this.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls.
And then the harmonies. Here's what the first harmony sounds like.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls.
And then the second harmony sounds like this.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls.
So you'd observe that from these recordings that I'm playing back, I've already done some panning and also some leveling, which is why you hear some of the vocals to one side and then some louder than others. And then the last harmony sounds like this.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls.
So all the harmonies together sound like this.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Them don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls.
Then when we add the main chant to it, everything sounds like this.
Ashawo boy don't love you. Don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 missed calls.
And there you have it. Really simple, really straightforward. This is everything that's in the chorus. And then the next is we're going to be moving on to the verse. So this is what this is an example I built out for the verse of what to sing for the background vocals. Sounds like this. You are hearing that with the BeatBox drums, by the way. So yeah, this was what I had in mind for the flow and the rhythm and the groove for the open verse. And this helped me to figure out what to put down for the vocals. Now, going to the recording, which is exactly what I have here. Let's listen. Right, so let me build it up from the ground. So after this, which is the call, the response, for the response, let's listen to bass first. Okay, so I'm not going to call this bass exactly. This is like the lowest pitch in the harmony, because the bass is still playing, and this is just the lowest pitch in the harmony. So this is not bass, but it's functioning as the lowest pitch, right? So after that, we move to the next one. Right, and to the last, we have this. And then the transition vocals. Really nice, sounding really nice. And then the next thing I have is the verse that I came up with. Shout out to DKK. DKK helped me put this verse together and sent it over to me. He helped me write the verse, sent it to me, and then I recorded and performed the verse. And this is what it sounds like.
I used to think that I was a player, but right now, see the man's on the bench. Other girls like Acapella, but you make me feel like man's in the Benz. Bambi, you sweet like candy. Your love done they hide the man like brandy. Feet make an Igbo man speak Chinese like Jin South Chinti Chandi. See what that means is whoa. I'll be your man, you be my missus. Whoa, you are my life, you're my everything. Spend on you, leave nothing for my next of kin.
And that's it. That is everything that was recorded in this arrangement. Really simple, really straightforward. So the way I like to approach arranging vocals for an acapella or doing an acapella arrangement is, first of all, I like to find out what the original groove is like. I'll first of all have to determine what kind of groove am I going with. Am I retaining the actual movement of the original, or am I creating something completely different? If I'm going to be retaining the actual movement or the actual groove, I'll now determine what the main elements are. It could be the kick pattern, it could be the bass movement, it could be the chords, whatever. Once I've decided what the main elements is or what the elements are, then I now find a way to, fine tune it, make it my own, make it special, and just, tweak it in a way that it's, really unique and coming out really, really nice. So there you have it. And that's how I came up with all of this. Now let's hear it from the very beginning.
A shower boy don't love you. Don't dribble Maradona. Amy 30 miss call. Them don't dribble player. I used to think that I was a player, but right now see the man's on the bench. Other girls like Acapella, but you make me feel like man's in the Benz. Bambi, you sweet like candy. Your love don't they hide the man like brandy. Feet make an Igbo man speak Chinese like
Jin South, Jin Chandi.
See what that means is whoa. I'll be your man, you be my missus, whoa. You are my life, you're my everything. Spend on you, leave nothing for my next of kin. A shower boy don't love you. Don't dribble Maradona. Amy 13 is called. Them don't dribble player. Oh.
Really simple, really straightforward, sounding really nice, you'd agree. So that's it for this video. In the next video, we're going to be looking at how I mixed this and did all the polishing and made it come out the way you heard it in the final result. In this video, I just covered the basics of recording and the arrangements, and how I put everything together. In the next video, we're going to be covering the mixing and as well what I have in my master bus to give it that glue and that final polish. Thank you for sticking around, and if you found this video helpful or if you enjoyed watching this video, kindly leave me a comment and subscribe to this channel. It would really help me grow in the long run. Thank you again for sticking by, and I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.
Them don't dribble player.